Hey, hello. I hope you're well. I am Jaime Elizondo from Real World Ranching, where my goal is to help you achieve maximum productivity while improving your land the fastest. Today, I want to tell you why regenerating the land is my passion. If we have lived for long enough around ranches and farms and are observant of what is happening around us and have listened to old cattlemen or ranchers, we can relate to what I am going to tell you. First, let us picture how the land must have looked like and produced when the first white men came to America. We can find historical records of the abundance of game and the rich, deep soils that they've encountered. We can also read how the wildlife became depleted and how the soils and grasslands have degraded since then. Why has this happened? Researchers have blundered in trying to find the reason that explains this. Grazing gurus have made huge mistakes by not considering how the land functioned before modern man and why the land degraded. I mean, they know some parts of the puzzle, but they miss, by and large, the big picture because they do not go back enough in time to find out how nature functions. By going back in time, I mean 20,000 years or more. Okay? Nature functioned very differently before man appeared in the land. Large herds of huge herbivores were present and moved around, migrating whenever forage was lacking in quantity or quality. This is very important to understand. Half of the herbivore mass by weight was made up of huge hind-gut fermenters animals like elephants, mammoth, mastodons, horses, donkeys, rhino, and hippo. The other half by weight was made up of ruminants. So why is this so important? Well, because those huge animals in great numbers, and I am referring to the hind-gut fermenters, were able to complete a total grazing on the standing forage. Ruminants, while more efficient in converting pounds of dry matter in grass to pounds of cane, cannot thrive and maintain good body condition on rank, low-protein forages. And this is the reason that horses and donkeys will thrive where a cow would starve. A cow may be more efficient, but she needs better quality forage for her rumen to be able to digest the fiber. If we look at basic plant physiology, we find the same. The forage plants do much better when rested for a long time and then graze down in a total graze or high harvest efficiency grazing. But we do not have those hind-gut fermenters that made up half of the total weight of the herbivores. So what can we do? How can we realize that most of the grazing advice out there is skewed, is incorrect by not understanding this? Well, we can implement the adapted genetics and selection guidelines where we breed and select cows, sheep, and goats, all of them ruminants, so that they can thrive and maintain good body condition under very high stocking rates during a total graze. How can we mimic the luxury of migration of past times? Well, we can stockpile grass in the growing season to use in the dry or cold season as standing hay, and in this way, we are copying what happened a long time ago. And my friends, this is how more humus is created every year. Not by litter and dead roots as was previously believed. I really cannot understand why the establishment prefers to keep silent on this and it's taking such a long time for them to change the definition of humus and how it is created. Let me tell you my story. When I was a kid, my father would tell me about how the family ranch was so much more productive when he was a kid, and how the daily gains of the steers, because we finish around 1,000 steers on grass every year, were double of what we were getting. stocking rate was also double, and invading brush was not a problem for the first decades. Eventually, by continuing to manage under continuous grazing and later burning every 2 to 3 years because of invading brush, the soil eroded and the landscape degraded. Humus content went down because we were mining what was created a long time ago. So this is what I found when I was a young adult and I started observing and researching. I found the grazing gurus that said that they had the solution, but nature did not, as they taught to graze selectively, and selective grazing was behind this degradation that I was observing. How can doing the same thing that created the problem solve the problem? Impossible. Then we must remember that our grandfathers did not consider livestock genetics as a tool to improve the land. Do you know what happens under continuous grazing? Well, you get over mature plants that did not get grazed, and you get overgrazed plants that are young and tender when the herd returns to regraze. Both of these extremes are bad for the plant, the soil, the environment, and your pocket. We absolutely need to implement a grazing program that avoids overgrazing, even at very high stocking rates, and that creates enough stockpile grass in area to feed our livestock throughout the lean times of the year, save money by not feeding hay, and not be forced to sell or breeding herd when in a drought. Conclusion and recap. Number 1, most grazing programs out there promote selective grazing, which is how the land got degraded in the first place. It does not matter if it is continuous, rotational, or plant grazing. As long as it is selective grazing, the land will not be regenerated to its best. 2, most grazing experts made wrong conclusions by not considering animal fossils and pollen fossils before man came into the land. They believed that what they can observe in present time is how the best soils in the world were created. They couldn't be more wrong. 3, that theory of selective grazing improving the land has been proven wrong, and it goes against basic plant physiology and new humus creation, which is created with the dead bodies of microorganisms fed by fatty root exudates. Up to 80% of the new humus is created this way, and only around 10% of new humus is created by litter and roots decay. The other 10% is created by the hyphae and glomalin, a glue produced by the mycorrhiza. This is relatively new knowledge, but it must be said as it is how nature functions. 4, humus creation needs to be maximized, as we have been using what was built a long time ago, and it's being depleted. As humus is low cycling carbon attached to mineral and clay particles that last for a long time in our soils, and that's where it belongs. 5, my passion is to help people regenerate their land for the enjoyment of them and their future generations. 6, this should include trees, preferably edible silvopasture, and wildlife, as biodiversity is a big part of resiliency of your farm or ranch, and nature always strives for higher complexity. If you like this subject, I hope you can join us at Fat Wallet Ranchers membership, where you can access all the necessary information, feedback, and guidance you will need to successfully regenerate your land and reach harmony. I hope you like this podcast and you can put this into practice. Thank you, and until next time, be sure to subscribe to the podcast on Spotify, iTunes, or YouTube, or join us for the weekly email at www.rwranching.com/join. Have a great day.